What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. Got him. Today's video, it's a topic that's what the fuck was that all about? Sorry about that. It's a topic that is interesting to me, and hopefully it'll be interesting to you. Doing time in a level 4 180 in California, that is the most dangerous time you can do. The most dangerous place to be in California is level 4 180 as far as jail, right? Level 4 180s are probably 90% lifers. Probably 90% lifers, right? People that have life without. People that maybe came off of death row, they got to go there, right? It's full of shoe kickouts, people that were in the shoe, people that have proven themselves to be violent within the prison system, and they usually never make it off of a 180 yard. You have to be on a 180 yard 3 years with no write-ups in order to be eligible to go to a 270 level 4, which is another very dangerous place, right? So today, we're going to talk about that 10%. Like I said, 90% are lifers. Let's talk about that 10% though. 10% of them are guys going home. I'm guessing. It may be more, it may be less. But imagine I had one of my camaradas had 13 years. He got a deal for 13 years. They sent him straight to a level 4 180. Imagine having 13 years, 12 years, whatever it is, knowing that you can go home and being around nothing but lifers, violent individuals, people with no hope of ever going home, not even a thought of it. And you are expected to do all of the things that a guy that's never going home has to do because you are there. You are on that yard. And that's always been fascinating to me since I got out. When you're in there, you don't think about that. You don't, however much time a motherfucker's doing this, unless he's your camarada and you chop it up, you don't know how much time they're doing. You know they're on a level 4 and it's all in. But I wonder about that. Like, it's a lot easier for dudes that have a life sentence to not give a fuck. What they have to care about, right? What like I used to tell the Juras, what do you think you're gonna do to me? Move me from one cell to another? So you sent me to Pelican Bay, you just moved me from the cell here to the cell there. That's all you did. Like, wrap your head around it. There was no, fuck, man, I don't want to go there. The fuck, I'm going to die in prison. That was my mentality. I'm going to die in prison. I don't give a fuck what cell you put me in. I'm just in a cell again. A different cell in a different place, but it's a fucking cell. But the guys that don't have that life sentence, they're going above and beyond if you think about it. They're jeopardizing their freedom again. We don't care about our freedom when we're in the streets. When we're in the streets out here and we're gang banging and, just being involved in criminality, period. You choose to live by your own set of rules, not the rules of society. They don't care. We don't care about that. We don't apply them. We disregard those, right? But then to go to prison and be like, damn, to see all these lifers, how miserable a lot of them are. And to know that, hey, I can go home and then boom. An incident happened. There was an exchange of words. Now there's talk of war on the yard. That riot in Pelican Bay, every riot that they have in these level 4 180s, 99% of the time, it's not something spur of the moment. It's something that happened, as planned, it's discussed, and then it's decided to go to war. And, during those times of discussion, not everybody's involved in the discussions. Not everybody is aware. It's bad for business. That riot that happened in 2000, it was actually going to happen in 99. And it's always one of those things where, you wait as long as you can. And at the last minute, you let Vatos know, like, hey, Holmes, it's go time. The ones that need to know are going to know. And I talked about this once. There was a dude, and this guy shouldn't even have known in advance. The dude was a J-Cat. And his cellie was a resident. And I've spoken about it, where a resident doesn't mean anything bad. But this dude used to hang out in front of the canteen in Pelican Bay. Anybody that's been to Pelican Bay knows you can't just be over there. That's all fenced off. You have to go through a fence to be able to get over there. And then you have to go into a fenced-in area in front of medical and canteen, and you wait in there. And it's 6 at a time go in there. Right? But somehow this dude was always posted up over there by canteen. During canteen. Oh, begging ass. He looked like Homer Simpson. How was he on that track? Like, how was he on that walkway? And how was he able to stand there? A lot of people used to question that. So that man was never supposed to know anything. When it's go time, it's go time. Let him know then. The vocation had been shut down. And, I've said this before. I believe that everything happens for a reason. Whatever goes on in your life, if something happens that's not according to your plan, understand there's a bigger plan. And what just happened was supposed to happen. So, vocation had been closed. Shoe factory, right? As soon as they release yard, we're getting off today. This is 1999. We're getting off as soon as they run yard. Prior to yard, they decided to run the shoe factory. That dude that would kick the riot off over, or that the riot was over, was in shoe factory. I remember at one point there was the plan was to get him in the shoe factory, and then somehow shoe factory had been closed. Well, anyways, the dude that was a J-Cat in the cell, somebody had let him know. I think I know who it was, but it is what it is. And so what he did was he tells his cellie, he hands him a knife and says, hey, when you go to yard, hang around with the homies. Make sure you're with the homies because it's on today. And supposedly that dude was like, what you mean? And he told him, yeah, the homies are going to rush the blacks today. So make sure you have this on you and you're with the homies. So later when the J-Cat left the cell, it just so happened, like, apparently, allegedly, a CO was walking by, do a security check or whatever, and that dude knocked on the window with the knife. And I guess told the cop, you need to pull me out. He got pulled out and he told the cops, whatever you do, don't open them doors. Don't open that yard. It's going to be a bloodbath. So that's why it didn't happen in 99, and that's why it happened when it happened. But neither one of those guys had life. Neither one of those guys should have been made aware. It should have been when they got to the yard, they get handed a knife. That's what happens in a lot of places. They'll make sure there's a bag of knives out there, or there's someone who's holding a bunch for whoever needs one. There you go. Because I'm sure, I've said it before. To me, it's very rare to hear a Southerner not having a knife, his own personal. But that doesn't mean they always carry it with them. I know the raza from up north, they always have theirs. The raza from down south, it's not mandatory that you have to carry one on you. However, there usually is at least a few out there. It's mandatory. We'll have, designated people or designated section, like, hey, it's your section day. You figure out who's bringing, what out. And we'll have them buried. But anyways, that's a whole different thing. Back to the story. Back to my rambling. I think it's pretty fucking sad, that people forfeit their freedom their time with their loved ones, kids, whatever, to go to prison. You know, that's one thing. That's okay. It is what it is. But to be in prison and see dudes that are going to die in there, and you know you can probably be home in 7, 8, 10 years, and you're like, I'm going to do more than him. Even though he's never getting out, I'm going to do more than him. I had a neighbor in the shoe. He had already been down 12 years. He was incarcerated for a parole violation. And he was already on his 12th year. He said, homie, every time I'm fucking close to going home, I wind up having to whack somebody. I don't know if he got life. I don't know if he ever went home. I don't know if he's alive. But imagine that. He went to prison for a parole violation. 12 months is all he has to do. And he was on his 12th fucking year. Anybody in there, because I know a lot of people in there watch my channel. I know a lot of your loved ones watch my channel. I tip my hat to you, man. If you are not a lifer and you are really in there doing it like a lifer, I have to respect that. I have to respect your dedication. I myself never thought about it because I was a lifer. I had nothing to lose. But you do. If you don't have an L, you have a whole lot to lose, man. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know how many people are going to be interested in this topic, but I think it's very fascinating. I think it's a look into the disparity, or not disparity, the desperation. It's a real life example of kind of like suicidal tendencies, if you think about it. People don't think that it's suicidal tendencies to be willing to die for nothing. You know, you can't really value yourself if you're willing to throw it all away like that, right? My channel is not to preach poison. I want to make that clear. I know how hard it is to live that lifestyle. I know the daily sacrifices that it takes. But I also know that it's also giving up. You have given up on life. You can be a lifer in there. And if you were under the age of 25 when you caught your L, you can go home. You can be out here with your loved ones. But see, that's a scary thought to a lot of people, man. That's a very scary thought, to have to enter the world, re-enter society, a society that you turned your back on probably when you were 8 or 9 years old. A society that you chose to victimize on a daily basis when you were a part of it. Whether in thought or in action, you did it, right? And it was okay with you. But to go to prison, like I keep going back to it. It's just amazing to me how many homies that that had an opportunity to go home and were just out there like fucking maniacs. Like you would think they had life without parole, life without the possibility of parole, because they want to stab everything in sight. They have this dream in mind, right? That, and I did too. But again, I was a stupid idiot. When I was a kid, I knew I was going to YA, and from YA, I knew I was going to the joint. I talked about it before, where we were talking about Pelican Bay one day. We didn't know what the fuck Pelican Bay was, and we were talking about, they bring the shower on a little car, train, whatever comes in for, it's in the back of the cell. We had all these fucking ideas everybody talked about back then. And not one of us was like, I don't want to go. We were like, we'll be there. And I tell you what, When I got there, I didn't see none of them other cats that I was having that conversation with. I didn't see none of them there. Who was the dummy? This guy. But I knew I was going to go. When I got there, I didn't give a fuck about anything. I was like, I remember when I whacked this dude one time, and this one I thought for sure. I whacked him in R&R in fucking front of God and everybody, man. And I thought for sure on that one, they were going to pick the case up. And I remember telling the Huda, man, I wish you guys would fucking get the DA to pick this case up. And the Huda goes, why? And I said, because I'm going to fucking bring as many witnesses. I want to call everybody to the stand. I'm gonna make this fucking trial so expensive, you're not going to be able to pick up too many cases when you're done with me. Dummy. Why did I say that? I should have just let them pick it up and do it, right? But they damn sure didn't pick it up. I had all day. Nobody was going home, you know? But anyways, let me get back. I'm bouncing all over the place to what I was saying. I just remembered. If you were under the age of 25, when you caught your life sentence, you can go home, man. You can. You can get a taste of this out here. But like I said, a lot of people are afraid of it. There's a lot of responsibilities being a productive member of society. You know, I talked about how in prison you probably have, 4 or 5 decisions you're going to have to make per day. You get out here, just figuring out what to wear is you maxed out of them decisions already. You probably make a fucking 1,000 different decisions a day out here, minimum. We don't even think about it. And to some people in there, having to do that is overwhelming. Having to pay bills is overwhelming. Having to be responsible, courteous. These are foreign things to them. In a way, in prison is way more respectful, your interactions, than out here. Yes. But there's so many fucking curveballs for people out here. Anyways, I'm rambling. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I was actually going to record today with Chinaman. He got caught up doing something, so just know I have everything ready. As soon as he's ready, we're going to have that out for you. Hopefully we'll have it. We'll be able to do it tomorrow. We'll see. But with that said, everybody please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out.